Hello, everyone. My name is Joko. I'm sure you've heard my name mentioned a few times by Lindsay. A lot of you don't know who I am, but I was part of the clique of Lindsay, Foz, and Holly in the anti-MM community. And just to be clear, Lindsay is the DeLorean. I just want everyone to know that and make sure that everyone knows who I'm talking about. I decided to pre-record this because I feel it's easier. I feel that when you go live, you have too many distractions. If I was live with TT or JM, and there's comments going on, you just get too distracted. So I felt it was easier to pre-record this so I can get my point across and not have to be interrupted. So I know a lot of you don't like hearing about the anti-MM community. It's old news, but I just wanted to give you a brief synopsis of how I came into it. I started in around 2019, November of 2019. That was about the time Holly and Foz, JM came into it. Lindsay had been there, I think, for a year prior already. And I joined the Truthers group, which was a group run by Josh Owens, who you've already seen before. He was on the live a couple of weeks ago, I think it was by now. And he was the admin of the group. And everything was fine in the group. I thought it was great. I had fun in there. Dan would go live on Facebook, and it was fun, and we all interacted, had a good old time. And then one day, Josh O did a live with JM, and he was talking about all the drama. Drama this, drama that, drama with Holly and Lindsay behind the scenes. And I'll never forget that because probably a good portion, I'd say 90% of us that were in the chat were like, what drama? What is he talking about? We had no idea what drama they were talking about. So me being the nosy person that I am, I started DMing with Holly and Lindsay and Foz, this, separate DMs with three of them. And I knew, that they were a trio. People call them the toxic trio now, but at the time I didn't know that. I thought that they were really trying to prove that Josh O was doing all of these things with women behind the scenes. So I believed it and everything. And then, Josh O pretty much got ran off the internet, and because of all of this behind the scenes drama that many of us had no clue about. And it was disappointing, actually. I really liked it when Josh O was the admin. And I really don't care what admins of groups do, but Holly was making this huge deal about it, like, oh, everyone needs to know who they're following and who the admin is. I mean, I've been in other groups on Facebook. I don't give a damn what the admin does. I don't go around trying to figure out what's going on in their life and their personal life. Who cares? I mean, you're the admin of a group on Facebook. Big deal. So anyway, there was a lot of division that was caused because Josh O gave the Truthers group over to JM. That's Jonathan. You know him as JM. And I didn't like Jonathan at the time, I will admit it. I thought that he was boring. I thought he was taking the group in the wrong direction. A lot of people were getting deleted and blocked, and I wasn't happy with it, and neither were Holly and Lindsay and Foz and some other people. But I found out later that it really wasn't JM doing a lot of this. There were other people that he had as admins and mods that were doing it. And, he admits that he made some mistakes with the group. And it's difficult when you're new and you don't know who is who and what the history is. And, anyways, I felt that Holly and Foz really had no intentions of taking down Russ McCamey. I mean, it became all about the drama. Russ became a secondary figure, just like Natasha kind of is now. It's all about the drama. Who cares about Natasha? And they didn't like what Josh was doing privately with other women. And sides were taken, just kind of like what's happening right now. So, Holly and Foz would go live, and then Jonathan would go live, and back and forth, back and forth. And nothing ever came of the Josh O stuff. None of these women came forward. There was no proof. Holly had said, oh, we've got so much proof. I've gone back and watched some of these old lives where Holly said, when you guys see this stuff, you will be so disgusted. And I thought to myself when I watched this recently, well, that never came out. And they'll say, well, it's not our stories to tell. Well, there were many times that some of these women were supposed to go and do a live with Foz, and they never did. But they'll still go around talking about it. It's like, God almighty. So many of these other women, though, have gotten over it. They're like, I don't care anymore. But an entire really good Facebook group was destroyed because of this. So anyway, then in March of 2020, I created a group chat with me, Foz, Holly, Lindsay, and a few others. And after the George Floyd incident, Lindsay was in an anti-racist Facebook group. She posted a screenshot in our group chat about some guy who made a watermelon joke under one of the videos, I guess, in Tennessee about the BLM protesters. It really was a stereotypical comment. It's really not totally racist. It's almost comparable to saying something like, all Irish are drunks. But Lindsay said she was sending the screenshot to this man's work to get him fired. At the same time, she posted some things about a woman on her own private Facebook page and made it public. Now, I don't remember what her beef was with this woman, and I don't have the screenshot, but I do recall going to Lindsay's Facebook page to see it. And Lindsay said, told you I was going to make you famous. And I thought to myself, who does this? And she talks about Paula? And she tried to tell Lycan she doesn't agree with cancel culture or going after people's jobs. So I'm going to play the video that shows these screenshots. And I do want to make it clear that this came from a group chat that I was in. And when I left Facebook, I had to download my data. When you download your data, your Messenger does not look the same as Messenger does when you're active. It looks completely different when you download the information. And I'm sorry about that, but you can test it for yourself. You can go into your own Facebook account. You can download your Messenger, and you will see how it looks when you get your file. Unfortunately, I mean, it's a shame that it doesn't look exactly how it does when you're active on Messenger. But anyway, I'm going to play this video because it's easier than trying to show the screenshots, because the screenshots are in this video. It takes a minute to come up.
Now the fussing, brother, that's all right, 'cause me and that woman bought a license to fight. Why don't you mind your own business? Mind your own business. 'Cause if you mind your business, then you won't be minded mine.
Oh, the man at the apartment is a nosy thing. He comes to my door and it's a ring, ring, ring. Go mind your own business. Hey, won't you mind your own business? 'Cause if you mind your own business, then you won't be minding mine.
Yeah, I got a little girl, wears her hair up high. Boys all quiver when she walks by. You better mind your own business. Yes, mind your own business. Yes, mind your own business, then you won't be minding mine.
Be like, back up! Back up! Mind your business, that's all. Mind your business.
Can see that happened, and I just really got ticked off, and I deleted the group chat, and I blocked Lindsay with no explanation. I told Holly and Tiffany why I left and blocked Lindsay, and both of them agreed with me. Tiffany said the watermelon comment was stereotypical and not racist, and did not warrant Lindsay going after the guy's job. Holly said, I'll fight racism in my own way, not how Lindsay does it. Well, after I blocked Lindsay, she felt I had thrown her away because she has severe abandonment issues. I did not know that at the time. And Lindsay had a Facebook group going later on in this story. And she took a picture of me that I had posted in this group chat. And she posted it in her group. I think she called it Cadis Silvis Revisited group. This was a whole nother thing that was going on that I'll get to in a minute. And that didn't really bother me that she posted my picture. It was the principle of the matter. I wasn't even doing anything. I guess it was because I blocked her from after that group chat. And I think this is why she also says that I'm racist. Well, it's funny to me. I'll get to that in a minute too. Because I'm not. So after McCamey Manor was a dead horse, the anti-MM people gravitated over to Cadis Silvis, which is another extreme haunt. Lindsay and Foz absolutely couldn't stand them. Foz hated every single one of those guys. And then an incident occurred at one of their events. It was called the Firecrackers Tour. Lindsay, Tiffany, Angela, Karen, and some others were going hard at Cadis Silvis to take them down. They pretty much destroyed their business. Holly was going to actually do an interview with Cadis Silvis to get their side of the story, but Lindsay screwed that up because she claimed she had asked for the interview first. And she raised this huge stink about it, so Cadis Silvis didn't want any bad feelings, and so they decided they weren't going to do the interview with anybody. Oh, so we were all arguing, and more division happened. Lindsay was booted from Holly's group on Facebook. That's when she created her own group that I was talking about. And I told you she posted my picture in there, and she allowed all these rude comments to be made about me. You know, she thinks it's funny. I don't care about the comments. I don't care that the picture was posted. But what I do care about is I had said in a different group chat that if Lindsay says anything about me in her group, I don't want to know about it. But there's Foz. He has to send me a screenshot of my picture and the comments that were made. I mean, I'll never forget it. It said, "Good morning." And he puts, the screenshot. I said, Foz, I don't even want to know about this shit. I said it in our group chat. Oh, I didn't see that. Yeah, right. And he was doing the same thing with Holly, sending her all the screenshots from Lindsay's group. So then during this time, there was another woman who was getting dragged through the mud by Lindsay and company. Lindsay went to the woman's husband and sent him information that this girl was sharing nudes to other men. Now, the husband didn't even ask for this. Lindsay went to him and asked if he wanted the proof. Of course he's going to say yes. Then Lindsay sent him the nudes. Now, this entire conversation is on a live that JM had on his YouTube channel. It's the 3-hour one that a couple of months ago TT had said was encouraging everyone to watch it because it has a ton of truth bombs in it. The husband is on that live. He shows his messages with Lindsay. Holly is on that live. Holly will say, well, we weren't friends at the time. Okay, but you sure said a lot of things about Lindsay that prove the point we're trying to make about her. And I just want to say real quickly, too, Holly, that's why I lost all respect for you. When you were at odds with Lindsay, I had told you in a DM, if you ever become friends with her again, I will kick your ass. You said, I won't. I rarely give second chances. Well, that sure didn't age well. And that's what aggravates me. I can't wrap my head around that after everything she did to you. I really can't. I know you guys worked together when the stuff was going on with Mandy. Boom, that should have been it. I don't know how you guys became friends again. I really don't. There is absolutely no way after Lindsay did all that shit, if she had done that to me, no way. No way. And now you defend her and you double down for her. So anyway, let me see where I'm at here. I do have some notes. Make fun of that all you want. I don't care. I have a script. Ooh. Yeah, okay. Okay, so then there was this fundraiser thing and gift cards. This woman named Alessa was involved with it, and the mother had been brought into the haunt community by this guy named JT. The mother's name is Christy. Now, Lindsay and company accused the mother of being like Dee Dee Blanchard. Josh Self said this on one of the lives that was being done on a YouTube channel called The Polygraphers. And they claimed they were going to expose Christy. Yet, a couple of months ago, Lindsay was begging Christy in Holly's chat to tell everyone publicly how much she helped her. She asked her this 3 times in Holly's chat. It was creepy and obsessive. Lindsay has to have credit for everything she does. She will always say, oh, nobody gave us credit. Oh, we exposed this and we exposed that. She always wants to be this big shot. You know, like she's doing all of this wonderful stuff. That's why I put virtue signaling on the screen, because when she had Lycan on her panel, she didn't have a clue what it meant. When he asked her what it meant, she said, you're deflecting. Well, here it is, Lindsay. Here's the definition. And that's what you do. And Holly, that's what you do too. I'm sorry. I've lost all respect for you, Holly. Holly, I used to really, really respect you. I am so disappointed in you, seeing how you have changed. I can't even begin to explain the disappointment I have with you. All right, so then there was the thing with the gift cards. Alessa, this woman named Alessa, who was pregnant, she was trying to, I guess, send these gift cards to Christy. Well, Christy says she never got the gift cards. Well, so then Lindsay and company were going after Alessa and just digging into her. Now, TT has showed some of those screenshots where Lindsay says, I've been up all night digging into this bitch. Doing all these different scenarios on her name, Googling her name. They were looking into her records of being married to this guy named Orlando, threatening to call Taryn, who was Alessa's boyfriend, Taryn's commanding officer. There were several times Alessa and Taryn went live about this stuff. And, I don't blame them. But to me, it seemed like they were really, really going after Alessa. Alessa was providing so much detailed information to Lindsay and company that it was to the point that I would have told them, fuck you. Blocked them all, left the community, and been done with it. And the funny thing about the gift cards is there was so much bullshit about how, nobody would send gift cards through the mail, and you would have done insurance. And, well, recently, this is the funny part, recently on my city's community Facebook group, someone made a thread about sending gift cards through the mail. And there were over 300 comments about how many times people have sent gift cards to family members and the family members never got the gift cards. And people have said, yeah, I've just done it through the regular U.S. Postal. I should have, done it where I put a tracking on it or insurance or whatever. But I never thought, the Postal Service would be stealing these things. Well, that's exactly what could have happened with Alessa. And I remember bringing that up at the time. And Karen was adamant. Oh, no. Well, Karen, you're wrong. I could show you the whole thread of my city's Facebook group where they talked about this. It was absolutely unbelievable. I said, boy, I wish this had been going on at the time the stuff with Alessa was going on, because I would have shown that. So then anyways, I had left for a while. and I had deactivated or deleted my Facebook account, was completely away from all of this nonsense. But then I decided to see what was going on, and I went to YouTube and found out Mandy was doing all of this stuff, and was watching what she was doing, watching her lives. I was talking to Foz about it privately, and there actually were some things that Mandy said that I agreed with. She called Lindsay a vulnerable narcissist, and I went and looked that up. And boy, she hit the nail on the head with that one. Anyways, I had told Foz that nobody should be doing anything to Mandy except documenting what she's doing. But then he created that Exposing Mandy C channel, and he had all these videos about her. They were going into Mandy's chats when she was live, screwing with her. And I thought to myself, why are you doing this? I had said to Foz, block her, don't do anything, just try to get this stuff resolved. Well, apparently they were doing whatever they were doing in that going after Mandy or wrecking Mandy's life chat, which I didn't know anything about until, when TT was showing that. So then the Mandy C stuff ended, and I wasn't really paying attention to anything they did. So I was gone for quite a while. I hadn't talked to these people, was several months. But then back in August, I decided to see if anything was going on and went to Foz's channel and saw some videos about Natasha. I somehow stumbled onto TT's channel and saw that Foz and Tiffany were mods. And Holly was going on panel, so I started to follow it. Well, then when I saw what they were doing to TT when they had their falling out, I said, my God, this is exactly what they did before. History is repeating itself. I felt they were doing the same thing to TT that they had done in our anti-MM community to Josh O and then to JM. Now, I didn't know TT from Adam. I was brand new to this stuff. But I told Foz, I said, after Holly did her interrogation with TT, I said, Foz, I don't agree with Holly at all. That is not the Holly I knew. I mean, she was really going after her. You can still go back and watch that on Holly's Live. And then I felt like Holly was trying to take over TT's subs, and I said, this is exactly what they did before. And you got to remember something here, too. I was like Boston Cousy, like Heather Drizzle, like Gladys. I would be defending these people. I was on their side completely. So the reason I say that is because if I could leave for several months and then come back and see how differently I felt about these people, some of you might want to take a step back like I did. You talk about leaving a cult when it comes to Natasha. Well, sorry, folks, that's how I feel now after getting away from Holly, Lindsay, and Foz. I feel, it was kind of cultish. I believed everything that they said. I believed everything Lindsay said about Paula. She tries to discredit people. So then, there's this guy named Josh Teller. He is still around. You'll see him as Harry Sack, Satan, clown something or another he uses. Lindsay uses this guy to do her dirty work because she knows he doesn't give a shit. He's had several felonies. He's threatened to kill people in Catus Silvas. He has gone real life. He's taken Paula's videos, private videos, and he has put them on porn sites. And Lindsay has made comments in different chats how she's seen these videos. Now, remember, Holly, how you pointed out that this is revenge porn. This is a felony. Well, why aren't you saying anything about this? You don't call out Lindsay for her bad behavior, and that's really getting to me lately. I see you in the comments going around you're not white knighting for Lindsay, but you sure as hell aren't calling her out. The only time you did that I agree with was when you told her that if Lycan was any other channel creator, Lindsay would be ripping him a new one. And you're right about that. She would. She calls everybody racist that she doesn't like. She sure is fine, though, with Lycan, probably because she has a crush on him. You could tell the giddiness when she has him on panel. So anyway, back to this Josh Teller. It's kind of interesting, too, that she says that they're friends now. But she has dug into his life, too. I recently saw screenshots where she found criminal records on his wife, and she sent them to JM. And seems to be just fine and dandy that she did that. And then I also find it interesting that Holly and Lindsay still support Vivian. She's used the N-word. She's talked all this crazy stuff about George Bush. I think it was Save the Drama that posted a video where Holly and Boston Cousy are on panel with Vivian. And they're telling her how that's wrong to use the N-word. And Vivian says, well, I'm still going to use it in my head. And Holly just sits there and says nothing. At least Boston Cousy said something. And then according to Lindsay, Vivian's apologized for using that word, so all is fine. But Lindsay will call me a racist. She'll call JM a racist. I mean, this is what, and Paula a racist. She'll do this, she'll play this card when she has nothing else. And it's a hot topic. It's a hot topic. So that's usually what these left-wing, progressive, woke idiots do when they've got nothing else. But in that group chat that we were in, where Lindsay had posted about the watermelon guy, when the George Floyd incident happened, I had posted in there how I wanted to punch that Officer Chauvin in the face. I said, every time I see him on the screen with that smug look on his face kneeling on George's neck, I could just punch the TV. And I said, if I were there, I would have attempted to make a citizen's arrest on those cops, but I said I probably would have been tased or pepper sprayed or something. But that's how angry I was about the situation. If I were racist, I would not have given a shit. And Lindsay even made a video about Dan where she showed a screenshot of me telling Dan that calling someone a terrorist is a bit racist. But I'm racist? Probably just because I don't agree with Lindsay. So I am, just completely baffled by this thing with supporting Vivian, but then you say things about other people when we haven't even used those words. We don't use the N-word. We don't use the F-word to describe a homosexual. I don't think I've ever even said that word because I don't like it. Oh, so anyway. Just some other random things that I'd like to talk about. Lindsay has threatened people. I mean, there was this one day in Granny's watching's chat where Angela was going on and on about Holly and saying negative things about Holly. And Lindsay said, Angela, stop or I'll tell what you've done. And then all of a sudden, the next day, Angela just backed off everything that she had said. So, Lindsay threatens. I've seen her threaten in various chats. Oh, I can't wait till this is exposed, or I can't wait till so-and-so says this about you. And people get scared and they back down. It's unbelievable. And then I want to talk about how vile and disgusting Lindsay and Holly were towards To the Moon when To the Moon came on Holly's panel. Lindsay was mocking how she talked like they were like a high school bully. Lindsay called her Foz's sloppy seconds. I mean, people who heard that BS should definitely have pulled away from Lindsay. I don't care if you don't like To the Moon. I had issues with her before because I felt like she was falling for the ridiculous toxic trio. Luckily, she's woken up. And that was the real Lindsay there when how you heard her talking to the Moon. But Lindsay will go on her lives and she'll talk real diplomatically. Oh, like she's trying to be so impartial. Oh, like she's an interviewer and she just wants to interview people and be fair and give all sides to the story. Yeah, right. And then I'll tell you right now, she's talking about these very same people in group chats. She had that girl Alessa on one of her lives on the Polygraphers channel and acted very professional with Alessa. Oh, everybody was saying how fair she tried to be. Well, guess what? As soon as she got off that live with Alessa, she made a fat meme of Alessa. Now, I don't have the proof of that. I know somebody probably does. Laughing and giggling, how funny, you know. That's why Alessa didn't want to show her baby bump. Why? So they can make memes of her and laugh? That's why you would see her. She'd have a pillow in front of her and everything. They didn't even believe she was pregnant. Well, guess what? She had the baby. You guys never ever said anything about that. Oh, it's probably not really Taryn's. Oh, they probably would like to see DNA proof that it is. I mean, I could just see it. That's how ridiculous these people are. Now, Lindsay really does put on an act. Did you ever notice how she never apologizes? She never owns her shit. She always doubles down on everything and gives excuses as to why she does what she does. And I warned Foz, too, about her. I said, don't let her know so much about your relationships. I said, your thing with To the Moon is going to get screwed up. Well, I was certainly right about that now, wasn't I? And Foz, you know damn well, because you've told me that my bullshit meter has always been on target. And Holly, you have told me I'm the voice of reason. And when I was leaving Facebook and leaving all this shit, you said, I hate to lose the voice of reason. Why? Because I was totally on your side and was trying to point out things about Lindsay back then. I mean, Foz, really, you've got to get out of this. Run for the hills already. I mean, I've noticed that you seem to be backing off, which is good. And you've been told this by numerous people, not just me. So, then lately there's been all this stuff about Cash Apps, PayPal fundraisers. I'd like to ask Holly something. Where is the money for that Friendsgiving that you did? I don't know if you've ever shown it. If you did show it, I apologize, but I haven't seen it. You guys were supposed to show how you were raising money for 2 people in your community who needed help. And, the last time I saw anything about it was in December. I think you guys had raised $300 and something. You were going to split it between these 2 people in your community. You didn't want their names known, and it was going directly to your PayPal and Cash App, Holly. I'd like to see that. I mean, like I said, I don't know if it was already shown. If it was, I apologize. But if you could direct me to where this information was shown and you being transparent and showing that you're splitting this money between the 2 people, that would be great. Because a lot of you sit there and you bitch about Natasha's fundraisers. I mean, it was funny. Lindsay had Lycan on her panel. And they're sitting there talking about, oh, Natasha asks for money and this and that and the other. And there's Lindsay's Cash App scrolling across the bottom. It was so funny. I could not stop laughing. It was absolutely ridiculous. I don't know how people don't see this. And then, there were things that were done in Hell Chat that a lot of you don't know about. There were things that Lindsay posted about Pink in Hell Chat. Threatening things were posted about her father. They were digging things up about her ex. There's Karen in there making fun of Paula and how thin she is, comparing her to a concentration camp victim. These people do horrendous things in Hell Chat that if you're not in there, you have no clue about. And I've seen the screenshots on that. Yes, I do have to look at my notes here. Let's see. Now, I know Lindsay will try to discredit me because that's what she's done with everyone who speaks out. Which is why, after I sent the voice clip of Foz admitting that Lindsay was jealous of him and Tiffany becoming mods for TT, Lindsay, or it might have possibly have been Foz, sent me a text with what they thought is my real name. It was a threat, and I took it as, Joko, we have your real information, so shut the fuck up or else. Now, luckily, that's not my real name that they think they have. I'm going to show that text that I received. Let me see. Here's the text. I changed the name up here on my phone to Troll, so in case they texted or messaged me again, I would see it. And I'm not going to show the phone number. 11/3/2021. So, Holly, no, Lindsay has not grown. She hasn't stopped doing this crap. This was what they think is my real name. I blocked it out. There's a little winking emoji and a snake. This is what they think is me, this person's bankruptcy. And then I responded back, aw, so cute, the fake name I've been using online since 1992, which I have. I have been using this name since 1992 when I joined Prodigy. I've been around on the internet for a long time, people. So I know you got to be careful and you have to protect your information. Because you're going to deal with idiots like Lindsay. And she's not the only one, of course. I mean, you got to be careful with anybody trying to dox you. But this is not my real name. You've got the wrong person. I've talked to this person. They know everything. They're aware of what is going on. It was a very embarrassing conversation that I had to do because of this bullshit. This was a veiled threat. Keep your mouth shut, Joko. Well, I'm not going to keep my mouth shut because I'm sick of your crap, Lindsay. And I'm sick of the people that are co-signing it. And Holly, really, you need to distance yourself from this idiot too. I don't know why you ever became friends with her again. You could have just been completely done with her. And I know why you don't want to have this headache again. Because of what she did to you before. I remember you being worried that she was going to dox you. You went through hell with her. You don't want it again. Foz doesn't want it again because look at what she did to him. She made this comment in a recent chat. She's casual observer. Well, Foz, I'm all about talking about what a bitch you have been since you do stuff behind the scenes. Middle finger, kissy face. Yeah, that's a threat to Foz. Keep your mouth shut, Foz, or I'll expose you. I mean, there are some things here I'll show you right now. Here's a thing between me and Lindsay, a DM between me and Lindsay. And again, this looks like this because of when I downloaded my data from Facebook. Here's me. Cannot stand her and that Andrea W. either. Now, these are people that were in the Truthers group. And I said I sent a screenshot of that comment from Andrea W. about people using their real names to conspiring cat. She did not respond. These are people that were in the Truthers group. Then here's Lindsay. See, if I was a real bitch, I'd take it real life. But I'm not. Although I will just say, Andrea S. works for the U.S. Post Office. Well, okay, so that means you were digging into Andrea S. Why? Oh, because she was a mod for the Truthers group and JM was hated. Here's one from Holly. Now you have to go down because when you download this data, it is not chronological. Here's Holly. Well, if you know you have not done anything, I am sorry you feel accused. Maybe you could put yourself in my shoes for a moment. What you are seeing on Lindsay's group is not even a fraction of the BS she's fucking doing. Then Karen said, no one should have to pick. You do know Foz still talks to her every day. Jessica said, I think it's because there's no way to really prove it wasn't one of us. I don't remember what she was talking about there. It does feel accusatory. I get where Holly comes from, too. Both sides suck to be on. And Holly said, I am almost done organizing Mandy's conversation with her. so you can all see how Lindsay used her to get to me and threw Foz right the fuck under the bus. This is why Holly doesn't want this headache again. Then, here's where I said about George Floyd. I am too. Every time I see his face with his hand in his pocket and knees on George's neck, I get so angry. Well, I said more than that too, but I don't have those. And then when the George Floyd thing was going on, here's Lindsay. I really do think I should make a sign about my daughter. What do you all think? The grandmother will use it to poison my daughter against me more, but she has already done that. So what do I have to lose? Now, this is about making a sign about her daughter and going to the George Floyd protests. Here she is again talking about it. Not great. I'm thinking about it being a perfect time for me to march around the courthouse with a sign about my daughter and the corrupt government here. Lindsay, this was about George Floyd, not you. That was another thing that turned me off with her. I couldn't even believe it. Then here's her BFF, Tiffany. I have always tried to give Lindsay the benefit of the doubt because she has mental illness and has been open about it. Karen liked the comment. Here's Tiffany again. But she reappeared right when the drama started. She brings herself into it. Jessica liked it. Karen liked it. This was when the Kata Silvas thing was going on because Lindsay had been gone for a while. But as soon as the stuff started with the Firecrackers tour and this woman Alexis who had been injured by them, Lindsay had to pop back in because she wanted to insert herself into the drama. When she came back, everybody was pissed. It's like, oh God, would she just stay away? I need to pause this for a second. So, I wanted to say too, can you imagine if Lindsay goes after any of people like Melissa Jade or Lala one of these days? Starts making videos, showing screenshots of all of their private conversations. I don't think you're going to be dealing with some of the people that you were used to from the anti-MM community because, quite frankly, the anti-MM people have been pretty nice on not revealing a lot of stuff about you. I mean, you want to talk about Paula? This true crime community or awareness community, whatever they want to call them, they aren't going to be so forgiving and nice, Lindsay. You're already seeing it. There aren't just anti-MM people that cannot stand you guys, that cannot stand you and Holly. It's not just anti-MM. There are people in the true crime area who have not even been in the anti-MM. I'm seeing the comments from people. And they're not alts. I mean, there are people that legitimately do not like you guys. You're not dealing with a small Facebook group anymore. You're dealing with YouTube. It's a completely different ballgame. I mean, like MJ said, she should talk about online bullying and how people's personal lives are being brought up. Their kids, their jobs, medical stuff. Well, MJ, you should know, Lindsay was doing those exact things to that girl Alessa I mentioned before. MJ said it's all fun and games until it's your real life on the screen, until it's your sexual content on the screen. I agree, Melissa, but you support Lindsay the DeLorean, who does the very same things that you were talking about. She does it with her videos. She did it to Paula with the video she made of Paula and her sex work photos. Why is that okay? Oh, it's okay, Melissa, because you like Lindsay? Right? That's okay. That video is privated, but it wasn't. There were, the last time I saw it when it was public, there were like 40 comments on there laughing. Oh, it's saying all these terrible things about Paula. Well, guess what? Holly's a sex worker. There's other people in these communities who are sex workers. Where's Holly with her outrage over this. No, Holly, Lindsay hasn't grown from what she did before with your Melissa E. She hasn't grown from that. She did it to Paula. And she had a community post where she had a picture of Paula on there. And it's not right. I don't care what you think of Paula. Lindsay has made Paula to be this horrible, terrible person. And guess what, guys? I believed it in the beginning, too. With no proof. I've talked to Paula. I don't believe the things Lindsay has said about Paula anymore. Paula has done some things. Yes, she has. She is an old school troll. But this stuff that Lindsay has done, and she even had Paula's real last name on there. Now, Paula says that's not her name. You know, that's her mom's name. Fine. But it's still Lindsay putting out someone's real last name. That should have been redacted. But it wasn't. I'm tired of it, you know. And I think some of you think, well, Lindsay didn't do anything to me. She's nice to me. Yeah, just wait. That's why I say, do not give her any personal information. For some of you, it's too late. I mean, Boston Koozie, it's probably too late for you. Gladys, it's probably too late for you. And some of you are probably laughing, saying, well, some of this stuff is so minuscule. Oh, really? Wait until you try to speak out against her or talk about her. My advice, if you start to discover that you don't like what she's doing, don't make the same mistake that I did by blocking her and, as she says, throwing her away. I would just distance yourself. That would be my advice. Don't go watch her lives. Unsub from her. She's, lots of people, what they do is they're just kind of cordial to her and chat. I wouldn't want people to be in fear of me like that, though. I would feel embarrassed. I wouldn't feel empowered. I wouldn't want people to be afraid to say anything to me. You know, it's... What do you want to do? Be this big, badass, scary person? And I totally do believe that she threatens people behind the scenes. I believe she's done that with certain individuals that I won't mention. And they're afraid, so they've run back to her. And I can't prove that. It's just my opinion. And Lindsay, this is another thing, too. Would you please stop with this narrative that Mandy is around? I mean, there are quite a few people that you keep saying are Mandy. And then when it's proven that they're not, then you say another person is. Jamie Lynn is not Mandy. Okay? I know that for a fact. She is not Mandy. If you keep saying that, show proof if she's Mandy. Because I'll tell you right now, if she were Mandy, I would be out of that entire group. I wouldn't have anything to do with it. And I would also like to say, I haven't dug into your life, Lindsay. I have not even Googled you. Because you know what? I don't give a shit about you enough to do that. I have information of things that you really did to people. And this thing about the anti-MM people like me, Paula, JM, etc., saying things in chat and we're trying to cause problems. Have you not seen that other people who aren't in the anti-MM community are seeing you guys and don't like you? I mean, sorry, but YouTube has a lot of viewers. And as I said before, you're not dealing with a Facebook group of 125 people anymore, kids. People aren't going to like you. Deal with it. Quite a few people think you're an ass, Lindsay. Quite a few people think Holly is a condescending, holier-than-thou matriarch. I mean, they do. You'll see it in comments all over the place. It's kind of like how the anti-MM community felt about you guys back when the anti-MM community was more active. But now it's on a bigger scale because it's on YouTube. So you are going to have more people who see through you, who do not like you. Deal with it. And quit saying that it's JM and TT and Paula and me and Jamie Lynn, Pink. We are just trying to point out things. Other people are seeing it, which is good. I'm glad that other people are seeing it. Now, I am just here to warn people. And I know people don't like to be warned. I mean, I've had this happen actually in my real life. I warned a woman about an abusive man that she was dating. That's because she or he had been with my best friend for many, many years. So I knew he was an abuser. And I knew his history. And I told her about it. She didn't want to listen to me. They had only been dating about 3 months at this time. She told me, I don't see any signs of him being like that. And I told her, just keep your guard up, watch for any red flags. Well, 9 months later, he beat the shit out of her. It was bad. He was arrested. He was thrown in jail for about 6 months. He had tried to strangle her. He bit her on all over her body. She was lucky she was able to get away. And she ended up coming to me and saying, I should have listened to you. And I said, hey, people don't always want to heed the warnings that they're given. I'm just glad that you're okay, and it'll be a lesson learned. Because I'll tell you, if somebody came to me and was warning me about someone, I definitely would keep my guard up. I mean, I like to see with my own two eyes how someone is, but I'll also keep my guard up. And usually, if I'm warned about somebody, sometimes people are right, sometimes people are wrong. But I want to say too, hey, if you like watching Lindsay, you don't want to listen to me, you can believe me, you don't have to believe me. I really don't care. But I will say, I wouldn't become close friends with Lindsay. I wouldn't go in any private chats with her, group chats, give out your real name. I wouldn't add her as a friend on Facebook. I would lock down your social media account tight or use a sock account, especially if you're going to join that Facebook group that she set up. I'd be very careful about doing that. I really, really would. Anything that you say in there, she's going to screenshot. And people will say, oh, come on, she's admitted. I mean, there was a live she did on Foz's or Holly's, I don't remember what it was. She admitted to having so many screenshots, she couldn't even put an app on her phone. I mean, she's probably got that taken care of now and more organized. But I'm telling you, I have no reason to lie. Remember, I used to be just like Gladys, Boston Koozie, Heather, was really gung-ho for these people. But again, when you leave for several months, come back and see the same bullshit going on, you open your eyes and you got to say, wow, I can't believe they're doing the same thing that they did in the anti-MM community. And, it's like people will say, well, what's your end goal? Well, mine is just to warn people. Mine is to bring awareness to the toxic trio, as we call them. And for God's sakes, Holly, stop defending Lindsay. I mean, there you are, over in Vivian's, telling her that JM should be blocked, and Vivian blocks him. Hello, remember when that happened to us? Where we were blocked from different groups just because somebody sent a list to them and told them to block you, me, Ashley, Lindsay, Foz. I think Carrie was on the list. Remember that? You didn't like that, did you? But you're going to tell Vivian she should block JM. Unbelievable. Oh, but I'm not a censorship. I don't like censorship. Yeah, okay. That pissed me off when I saw that. Holly, I'm just so disappointed in you, it's not even funny. And I know you don't care. But I'm just telling you, you were different before. You weren't this petty, I guess is the word. I've never seen you act so mean girlish and high schoolish. especially when To the Moon was on your panel. I mean, you apologized, which was good. But when I listened to that, I was absolutely disgusted. And then with Angela, too, I was absolutely disgusted. Luckily, Angela's getting away from this crap, which I hope she stands by and sticks with. And I'll tell you one thing, Angela and I never liked each other. But I can understand where Angela's coming from on some of this stuff. So now Lindsay will probably try to discredit me. She probably has 5,000 screenshots or something. She'll maybe make stupid videos of me, talk about me all over YouTube, all the comments, I really don't care. Because I don't care, unlike Lindsay. I love myself. I love my life. I have no reason to lie. I'm just giving you a lot of my opinion, showing you some things that happened. There are other screenshots and things that will be shown. You can watch that 3-hour video that TT has talked about before. It's been on her community tab. I'm not sure if she's going to put that back on or not. There might just be some clips taken from it. But, after this, if Lindsay does all of these things trying to discredit me, that's fine. I mean, you guys will see it with your own 2 eyes. I mean, I can show other things too. I don't really care what she says about me because I don't care what strangers on the internet think of me. I don't care. I can always come back onto YouTube with a completely different name and a clean slate. I can leave your entire community, which I don't even know what I'm still doing here, quite frankly. And, then just be done with it. I've said my piece. There's nothing more to do. I did want to say I am not in that group chat with Lindsay's ex-husband. Never have been. There are some things that I do not know what's going on, and that's fine with me because I don't need to be informed of everything. I shouldn't be informed of everything. Some things you're better off not knowing, and you shouldn't be privy to. It's the same thing like at a job. I worked for CEOs. They don't tell me everything that's going on, even though I'm their right-hand man. And with understanding on my part, Some people get pissed about that. Oh, TT didn't tell me this. TT didn't tell me that. Well, there's a reason for it. I understand that. And there's some things I'm glad I don't know. But anyway, I'm done with that. And, I think that people should just listen to this warning and take it or leave it. And good luck to all of you. I appreciate you listening. And hopefully, you'll see things for what they really are and make up your own minds. Thanks for listening.